Another thing that's very, very exciting is our guest today. And we have someone who is, in my opinion, a self-made man, and I have watched this journey with him since the beginning. And I feel that he has really learned how to take this entrepreneurial role to a whole new level. So very, very excited to have him join the conversation, and very, very excited to talk about his journey and his success over the last several years. So we'll wait for our good friend to join, and then we'll start our conversation. I think that one of the things that's very, very interesting about right now is all of the activity and all of the webinars that are happening throughout the country. There's so much content and so much going on. And Donald, how are you, my friend?
Wonderful, Tim. How about yourself?
Are you staying cool in the desert?
Yes, I am. I'm going to go have lunch though a little bit later, so we'll see how hot it gets.
It's supposed to be 105 today. It's insanely hot. I'll be inside staying cool and staying out of the heat. So welcome to the Elevated Huddle. I'm Timothy Glanzer with Elevated Meeting Solutions. And today we welcome Las Vegas entrepreneurial Donald Contursi, the founder and president of Lip Smacking Foodie Tours. And I got to tell you, Donald, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. I was noting earlier, I really watched your journey from the beginning. I got to tell you that you are the definition of an entrepreneurial, and you really have shown, especially in Las Vegas, but this thing has grown all over the country, what it really takes to do a startup company and be successful. And before we get started, I really want to talk about a little bit of background, because you moved here from Chicago, attended UNLV, got your degree, and then went directly on to Las Vegas Boulevard in the culinary industry, joining such fine dining restaurants as Gordon Ramsay Steaks, Social House, and STK. This all happened before starting Lip Smacking. And the recognition that you and this company has had is, it really is amazing. You have been nominated in multiple industry publications for 40 Under 40. And your company has been awarded Best Food and Beverage Tour Operations, Best Food Tour, Best Date Night, Best Brunch, Best Fine Dining, Best New Tour, as well as rankings of #1 on both TripAdvisor and Yelp. I mean, Donald, it's best. This is crazy, the success that you had in such a short time. And I must admit that when I first met you, I was running a convention team at one of the luxury properties on the Strip, and you came in to showcase your company to the team. And when you and I were talking, I didn't get it. I was listening to the concept, and I remember shaking my head and saying, how will this work? And you smiled and confidently responded, it will work. And it certainly has. So thank you for being here today. I've done all the talking. I'm going to turn it over to you. Tell us about the journey, how you started this unique concept, and some of the things that you're doing today, and how this operation has become so successful in such a short time.
Thank you for the introduction. I appreciate that very much. So I worked in many restaurants in Vegas, and I had a lot of knowledge of, the best places, what dishes you're supposed to order when you go. And, with that encyclopedia, I wanted to share with people where to go, because people come here and they're overwhelmed at times. So, just knowing those tidbits and, to get this dish when you go there, I curated an experience from experiences. So basically I pulled the best of the best into one, and I wasn't sure if it would work. I thought it could. And when I started doing it, people were just telling me how amazing it was. And when people are telling you that your product that you've created is the best thing that they've done in Las Vegas, I mean, you have to run with that. I mean, that's a huge statement. And so, it's given me the confidence and the drive to take it up, as many notches as possible. to host it for groups. We recently this year did our largest group for 210 people. You know, I didn't imagine that at first. We inched our way up there. You know, I remember doing groups of 30, 40 and was overwhelmed, just thinking, you know, how am I going to do this? And then, you know, the more comfortable you get and the relationships that you build with your restaurant partners, it just grows. And so then we have done them outside of Las Vegas for groups that request the same experience. You know, and it's not just all about the food, it's the networking component that you get with this. And I didn't realize that when I first began, but you know, one of the big things that is important to the meeting planner is that at every restaurant, when the group gets to interact with different people at each stop, it's like having 4 mini dinners. And there's no interruption from the server to take your order. It's all preset, you know, allergies. Basically, it's a turnkey experience that's new and different that a group has never done before. And who, you know, everybody loves food and connecting.
You know, it's so funny because it's just like you knew there was going to be a demand. You knew this was going to be successful. I mean, that's the confidence that you had. And as I continued to meet with you throughout this beginning stages, I remember every time I would see you, it was just building momentum. And in Las Vegas, especially, your company, you and your company, it's really become, you know, one of the main attractions. And it's been very successful how you've grown from the Strip also downtown, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But so this thing's wildly successful. It's rolling off the charts and everybody's talking about it and you're being recognized. And then COVID-19 hits. Now I want to go right into that because here's another situation where you had, and many of us on this call today have had a amazing 2020, and then this unique environment hits and really pulls the rug from underneath us, and then how we were able to pivot and work through. Some have not been able to, but I'd like to know how you have been able to pivot, because there is no social activity happening. You know, now there's more, but at the time there was no social activity happening. Your whole business shuts down basically. So how were you able to pivot and give us some ideas of some of the things that you're doing, and also the self-guided tours that you created to fill the space?
Well, throughout, you know, the beginning, I've had my challenges as any business owner would, what works, what doesn't, and I've had to find my way. And now with times like this, I've got to do it again. And, you know, I take a lot of pride in living in Las Vegas. I've been here half of my life, you know, and I've fallen for the destination being in this industry. And, you know, we're the entertainment capital of the world. Las Vegas is constantly in reinventing itself. We're known for that. So, you know, after 2 weeks of everything coming to a halt, you know, I was racking my brain like, what can I do? How can I make this work? Due to the social distancing. And I came up with an idea that I have never seen before that I think will really be a big deal. And, you know, it's more on the leisure side of things because typically when we have our groups, our leisure groups, they're made up of couples, individuals, small parties that get together, and by the end, they're friends. Maybe 10 people in a tour. Now with this, you know, maybe people don't want to sit next to others that they don't know until we get over this. And so I've created a self-guided experience that you could book any time of day for a minimum of 2 people. So you and your loved one, a friend, whatever it may be. We offer lunch. Hello?
We got your back.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's right.
And so it's a virtual guide. We provide you with a link that gives you a map with a route on where to get from restaurant to restaurant. You let us know allergies, dietary restrictions, and we have it VIP'd like our regular tour, where each restaurant is prepared, because as you know, right now it's limited capacities, limited tables, and a reservation is important at the hottest restaurants. So we have your table preset, you walk right in, they're expecting you, you get to try the signature dishes. If you do want to order something additional like a beverage or maybe another menu item, a 15% discount, you know, budget might play a role now too. So as Las Vegas may not have the shows right now and we're limited on attractions, we have to still attract people to our destination, and we
Exactly.
have to create new experiences that and pivot, because they don't want to necessarily come to a place that, you know, so we have to come up with new ideas and safe ideas, maybe a price is a little different, and accessible. And so I've already had our first customers. They've been locals for date night, and they couldn't believe it was the first one. But I understand why they didn't think it was our first one. It's because the restaurants that we work with are pros. It's just a different format, and each restaurant sees it as, okay, here's some people that maybe haven't been to our restaurant. It's an opportunity for us to retain these guests as future customers. And so the customer gets this phenomenal experience at 3 different restaurants, and they're all top notch, and everybody wins.
Yeah, and so this thing's expanded. So you have expanded to multiple cities. Tell us a little bit about the expansion.
So first one was for a client event for the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. We did one in Santa Monica, California. I was getting ready to rehost that tour again just recently, but you know, due to everything, we've done San Jose, California. We've done St. Louis. We hosted Merritt's in their backyard. It was an event for them, so they thought I lived there, you know, because I also have to tell about the tidbits about the area.
Yeah.
And I go, no, I'm from Las Vegas. But, you know, that's part of our program, is knowing little nuggets and not reading off of a script, but memorizing it. Most recently, Toronto, Canada. We've done another, I forget where the other one was. And we had a lot lined up for this year. We've had Dallas and about 6 other cities, one every month. And, you know, so that's where the direction was going. And I'm looking forward to picking that back up.
And so just so everyone understands, and Donald was so gracious to host the Elevated Meeting Solutions team a while back. This is a lot more than just going to dinner and sampling a few courses at multiple venues. Okay, that is what it is literally, but that's not what it is in the experience. The way that's presented, the way that you are treated upon arrival, the VIP experience, normally the leadership of the venue will come out. It flows so well. It blends so well. Of course, the food and the culinary dishes are amazing. There's explanations, there's education, there's networking. And then when you move to the next venue, there's social, you know, there's a social piece to that. And then all of a sudden you have this brand new environment, and high-end, by the way, environment, and a whole new, it's like seeing multiple shows in the same evening. And you really feel that there's a unique experience here. At the end of this thing, you just feel just full of something. And I'm an extremely jaded guy, I must say, and have had the fortunate to dine at some of the great restaurants all around the world. The way that this is presented, the way that you and your team make, you know, the guest feel, and the appreciation of the venue, they are ready and over prepared for the arrival. It just flows so well that when you're finished, you just go, okay, this is a must-do deal, and you're ready to spread the word. And I can tell you, you know, not just for media and events, which is kind of what we're talking about today, but really for anyone that loves a show environment that involves the culinary experience, this is just a home run. You've really hit something that I think is going to spread, and I think that is just something very, very unique. So one of the things that when I went on the tour that was so interesting is that you are everything seems so natural and organic. You know, it's not scripted. You're not sitting there looking at scripts saying, you know, this is this, and talking about the food. It really is well, you know, I hate to say the word, but like well rehearsed. I mean, it just seems to roll off, and the chefs are coming out and they're talking about the different dishes, and the opportunity to ask questions and learn about the various courses and the blending of the various courses is something that is just really, again, unique. I could sit here and talk about it all day long.
Thank you.
So what's the next step I mean, where do we go from here? We get back hopefully tomorrow. You know, we're opening some of these venues back up, and we start to get back running again here and moving forward with the meetings and events industry, and start to welcome people back to Las Vegas and start to welcome back people from all over the communities. Where do you go from here? How do you expand this experience, and what's in the future for you?
Well, while we don't know, all the answers of tomorrow, we do know that meetings and events are going to be back. And when they do, we're going to pick right back up. And that's when the connections are even more important. We value those. But now it's, we're really going to appreciate those moments. And that's what we do so well, I think, is yes, the food is great. Yes, the little tidbits are great. It's always nice to have the chef come over, explain your food. But really that takeaway that you have had was getting something special that you haven't felt, every time you've gone to dinner. It's that, organic, just connecting with people. An example I like to use is when we walk between two resorts, whether it's Aria and Cosmopolitan or the Venetian and the Wynn, everything is right there. And just walking with people, it's something we don't always do so much anymore. You match the pace, you connect, it's Vegas, you've got a cocktail in your hand, and it just, you're getting outside a little bit. You're seeing and hearing the sights, it's touching all of those important senses, the taste, the smell, everything, the experience. And, we want to keep elevating the experience. We don't want to, rest on our laurels. We want to see, how can we take it next level? We've added Maverick helicopters at the end of the night. That's Vegas, baby,
Wow.
4 of the top restaurants and a helicopter over the strip. You're going back to your trade show talking about that. So what can we continue to do to take it next level? Because people expect that, and that's what we're known for. Not just myself, but you and everybody in our industry.
And I got to tell you that my team did experience the Aria Cosmopolitan tour, and I want to go down and check out the downtown, because that's a completely different environment. I'm a big fan of downtown, and dine down there often, and really try and support the downtown project. So, you have a far different experience at the Aria Cosmopolitan Strip deal than you do downtown. And, it's not just for locals. I mean, the downtown experience is something special. Kind of give me an understanding of the comparison of the two, because they are, pretty different in the experience that you have.
Night and day.
And
whenever I speak with a meeting planner, we'll lead in with the strip, and and then I'll start to talk about the downtown, and it's hard to choose. They're completely different, but great for different reasons. You have the bells and whistles of the Las Vegas Strip, but when you go downtown, you see a side of Vegas that's unexpected, and it's the Fremont East area. We also have the Arts District. And these are all revitalized over the past few years. The restaurants are top notch. One of the restaurants that we visit, Gordon Ramsay ate there twice in a month. So if Gordon Ramsay's going there, and they're local venues. So you actually meet the owners. The chefs are the owners. They're coming out and talking with you, and you have that connection to the community. And you're sitting with the locals. A lot of times people don't realize where do the locals, they want to see. And they walk through the container park with all the repurposed shipping containers and small boutique businesses. You have the fire-breathing mantis that's shooting the flames out of the antennas from Burning Man. The group will get back on their shuttle, and they're at a loss of words, because they're like, I've been coming to Vegas for this number of years. We stay at this hotel. We have our program. We've never been hosted down there, and they're buzzing with new excitement, because they don't have an expectation of what it totally exceeds their expectations. Food is great. And it just has this community feel, and a lot of people don't associate Las Vegas to have that neighborhood vibe.
Yeah, I mean, it is. It's a must-do attraction. I want to kind of change topics a little bit and get your understanding of where the event industry is going. And everybody's fired up their crystal ball, and everybody is kind of trying to understand, on the other side of this unique time, where we will be. Obviously, like we noted, Vegas is opening tomorrow, multiple venues. Capacity right now, assembly is 50. and hopefully that grows. Every webinar we're talking about is, performing a unique, successful model of a show so that we can build this, because we're not getting to the promised land on assembly of 50. We want the big groups back. So what do you think is the duration? You've seen all of the hotels' plans, the big brands. They're putting a lot of effort. They're putting in a lot of time to make sure that they're welcoming guests back. Your entire business, as mine is attached to how successful this hotel industry and these suppliers are going to be when they come back. And I think they're doing a phenomenal job, not only here in Las Vegas, but really around the country and really globally. So, what is your prediction? I'm just always curious to see from others, especially people that have been in the business and understand the business. What's your prediction on how this is going to go and the length of time it's going to take to get back to this new normal of meetings and events?
Well, I think Las Vegas is a great place to lead. We are a convention city, and the hotels understand the importance of doing it and doing it safely. And so they haven't spared any effort. They've gone above and beyond, whether it's providing, masks, hand washing stations on the floor of the hotel. I mean, they've totally adjusted, and it's a great place to start with those 50-person groups and make our way to those larger groups. I understand that a lot of groups are coming at the end of the year and certainly in 2021. And while, this time till then, maybe a hybrid of virtual for those that aren't going to be coming to our city. Those events will still take place in a different format until people are getting comfortable. They've seen it done before. Las Vegas is a great place to launch that and show others how it's done. I mean, it would be absolutely fantastic if our industry could get together by September for IMEX. We'll see. Nobody knows what the future holds, and I think that's something that we all can agree on. But we're all going to get there together. We've done it all these years. We're resilient, not only at Las Vegas but as an industry. We constantly are adapting and figuring it out and making it special, and so we're going to get there.
So one of the questions that I'm seeing from one of the viewers is how are you implementing with the new guidelines in the hotels? Because obviously you're at the mercy of the guidelines that are put together by the hotel suppliers. How are you able to continue your business with the social distancing and the way tables are conformed? We went out this weekend for the first time and dined at a local restaurant here in Las Vegas, and they did a phenomenal job of spacing the tables and the protocol before entering the venue. You really felt safe. You felt it felt normal, and you weren't concerned the whole time that there's issues. And of course, the food was fantastic, so that always helps. So how are you going to implement that piece and work with the hotels to be able to provide your services and this attraction?
Well, we have been hosting the self-guided private tours without any tour guide or others that are grouped in with the party. But as far as the larger groups, right now we are limited to the numbers that we can bring into the restaurants, especially with the limited capacities. But we could go either of two ways. We could create space in between the seating and do those longer and larger tables. And another option that we can do is actually breaking them out onto different tables at each restaurant. It's just the only challenge with that is we are going to be limited as far as the 200-person groups. We're not going to be there yet. But it's a process. We're all figuring it out together. I can't wait till the day that we look back on this and we say, oh, we remember this is how we figured it out. Mm-hmm.
We're definitely going to appreciate this industry much more. Another question that came in is, how do you go about choosing the restaurants for the tour? What's the selection process?
So for Las Vegas, it comes second nature to me. I'm just very, it's like my sports. I know all about them, what dishes, and it's the accolades. It's the uniqueness, the quality. You know, when we go to Javier's, they're serving fresh pineapple margaritas. You know, you don't usually see that. Dungeness crab and shrimp enchiladas. You don't always see that. Milos, their Milos special is a very unique item. It's thin sliced eggplant and zucchini. It's lightly fried with the Greek yogurt. It's got a beautiful presentation. They're known for their octopus. Everybody always says, you know, I don't know about the octopus, but when they bite it, that's that lasting memory. That's the other thing that we do is when we select the dishes, each restaurant serves approximately 3 to 4 signature dishes at each. This way, if you are particular and maybe don't care to try the octopus, there's 2 other dishes on the table. But since it's there, you may as well try it. Everybody else around you is raving about it. And then, believe it or not, everybody's like, that was my favorite dish. And then they'll never forget that. They're gonna, next time they have octopus in front of them, they're gonna say, you know what, I had it in Vegas when I was at Milos, and Timothy took us to dinner, and they'll never forget that experience. And, you know, your first food experience is something that you always keep with you. So I like to select the memorable items. You know, it's not a food challenge. I like to also highlight simple dishes that are done really, really well. We do a chicken heritage French dip sandwich. It's like a chicken sandwich, but when you bite into it, it's like Thanksgiving. It's unbelievable.
It's like heaven.
Oh yeah. And so you know, very well-rounded. I like to do a mix of cuisines. So French, Italian, Greek, American, Spanish, Mexican, just you know, cover all the bases. Because each one's a different experience. It's not that one's better than the other. They're just different. So now when you pull from all of those, that's where you create the grandiose experience. And the accolades, you know, that's important. The James Beard nominated restaurants, the chef of the year, you know, where the chefs come out and we get that VIP treatment, you know. It's important that our guests feel special and it's not your typical tour where, you know, you're getting that corner table and nobody's paying attention. They're like rolling out the red carpet. They're here, you know, center table, you know, prime time. It's Vegas. And that's why I think we should always continue to think outside of the box on why, you know, maybe we've done it like this before, but why can't we do it like that? You know, why can't we do a self-guided food tour? There's self-guided walking tours, but there's never a self-guided food tour. But it could be done, and it's
a phenomenal concept. It's a phenomenal concept. The entire thing that you're doing here is phenomenal. And I must say that the octopus at Milos is the best I've ever had. It is amazing. So, well, it's time to say goodbye. 30 minutes rolled very quickly. I enjoyed your conversation. Again, Donald, continued success. This thing is a home run. And everyone listening, top attraction in Las Vegas, Lip Smacking Foodie Tours, absolutely a must. Doesn't matter if it's a meetings and events, which is what we're talking about today, but really any and all group dining. You meet new friends, you have an amazing culinary experience, and you feel like a VIP. So Donald, great job. Thank you so much. Everyone, join us next week as we will welcome another great talent to the Elevated Huddle. Until then, be safe and elevate from the norm.
Thank you.